there because I, for one, have got my own opinions, and you hear from me what my take is on exes and friends. But I would love to hear your opinions as well. In the comment section, go ahead and send a heart that is crushed if it didn't work out, and you're not friends and you're friends anymore. And if it didn't work out, sorry, and you're not friends anymore, but if you're friends now and it has worked out well for you, drop a smiley face. That would be good statistics. And maybe there would be some insight out there that friends can really make it, exes can really make it work. So let's start with some science and psychological recordings. According to the relationship expert that I visited, this relationship expert said exes who stay friends often fall into one of these categories. They categorize the kind of people, the exes that stay friends. They say they are their security friends. Now, when she was explaining, she said security friends, and she said it's less about deep friendship and more about comfort and familiarity. Note, she said security friends. You are guaranteed this person will be your friend because there is no boundary that will be crossed or again because it's already been crossed. Okay, TJ said I sent a hot one that was crushed. I'm glad you moved on because if it didn't work out with an ex, then that is a good statistics. I'll actually take the polls at the end and get to know which one has polled the most. Otherwise, those of you who are dropping by for the very first time, we are talking about can exes be friends? And you can drop a heart crushed if it didn't work out you being friends with your ex. And if it did work out, send a smiley face. That would be good statistics. Yeah. The expert also said there are those utility friends. They share a child, a business, a mutual responsibility. That is also another category of exes that stay friends because they have utility friendship. They have responsibilities that are keeping them together. And so they just can't call it quits. Maybe it's a business. They started together while they were together and now they are apart and they have to deal with each other. Dina says staying friends with existing. Let me read right what Dina wrote. Dina says staying friends with existing. Staying friends with existing is not nature. Nature is supposed to be, I think, natural. It's messy because it's not mature. Oh, staying friends with exes is not mature. It's messy because deep down I may keep them as an option. Ah, that is right. Yeah, that is right. There is always that lingering hope that maybe we'll get back together. Yeah, we'll get back together. And yet, actually, doors have been closed and there's no chance of it happening again. But again, it keeps you from going forward because you're always thinking maybe we'll work out things. Maybe over time, after we've all tested other waters, we'll, start something different. Yeah, so Dina is right. And Shaboya says, yes, Dina. Yeah, Dina Shaboya agrees with you. Now, there are two, I've so far mentioned two types of exes that stay to friends. The security friends, where it's less about deep friendship and more about comfort and familiarity. You are used to this person being there. Always when you need someone to talk to, that person is there. Or this person was paying your bills, and so you keep them around because it feels good to have someone still paying those bills for you. And then there's the utility friendship where you have mutual responsibility, like a child, like a business, or a child, or mutual responsibility, yeah, as mentioned. And then there is the emotional crushes. The emotional crutches. Oh, this is what the psychologist said. She said one or both have unresolved feelings and stay friends mask deeper attachment. I'll say it again. One or both have unresolved feelings and stay friends mask deeper attachments. Okay, in other words, there are those who have not resolved issues. You really still wanted this guy in your life, or you still wanted this girl in your life, but things ended on the wrong foot, and so you mask it. Let us be friends. Okay, let's be friends. But really, you've not moved on. You are not ready for the breakup. You you just didn't want the whole thing going the way it did, but it did anyway. So that was one. And then I had someone else tell me remaining friends with an ex can sometimes be a trauma bond. People confuse familiarity with compatibility. But if there is a lingering heart, it's not friendship, it's emotional recycling. Oh my God. That is what one person said, that if there is lingering heart, it's not friendship, it's emotional recycling. In other words, you're keeping this person on the side, hoping that when you don't have someone, you always fall back on this one. Like Dina put it, it's emotional recycling, guys. And I, for one, I would say emotional recycling, that's deep. So basically, unless there is true closure, the friendship might just be a disguised attempt to keep the past alive. It's, in other words, impossible to just be friends. Really, it's not realistic. Realistically speaking, being friends with your ex is not real. It's so deep that unless there is true closure, yeah, the friendship might just be a disguised attempt to keep the past alive. You want to keep hanging on to what used to be, but when it's not anymore. Like one of my friends was telling me that there's this girl who was at school and had a boyfriend and they broke up. And now they are posing as though they are friends. Really, at that age, I don't think in school you have room to just be friends with a person who dumped you and is now going out with someone else. So, realistically speaking, it is disguised, you know, attempt to keep the past alive. And I would like to read what Cedric has just written and Dina. Cedric has said, but I've seen people who live together yet they were exes. A woman that my daughter watches lives with her husband and her ex-husband, and they are friends. Well, those must be, Cedric, those must be whites, because the whites are the only ones who really can go that way. We don't do that. We we tend to be real. I guess whites have a different way of dealing with issues. For us, it is real. You're done with me, I'm done with you. We close that chapter, we move on. So I think, Cedric, the people you're talking about must be Europeans or whites, not like from Africa, like Uganda, where we come from. It's really hard staying in the same house with your ex, because let me read what you just said. You said, I've seen people who live together yet they were exes. A woman that my daughter watches lives with her husband and her ex husband, and they are friends. That is madness. If I may put it, it's madness. Because how can I be married and I live in the same house with my ex-husband and you, my current husband, unless there is some bit of twisted mind there? That sounds impossible. But again, like I said, that is not something we Africans are open to. It's more to the Western world. So maybe that's where it works. But thank you so much, Cedric, for that comment. And Dina says, due to emotional maturity, whereby the ex may not have the ability to see you with someone else and not be envious. I know. It is crazy. It's inevitable. I mean, this is someone you cared for at some point. Even when you close those books, when you see them with someone else, you kind of start thinking, maybe I gave up a good thing. Maybe it was too early. Maybe we need to rekindle this. So, like Dina said, it stirs up different mixed emotions like jealousy, envy, sometimes even disgust. You could end up doing something to these people. So I think it is not healthy, but that's my take. And that's Dina's take. Um, I want to hear from you. Can you be friends with your ex? I want to hear from other people. Can you be friends with your ex? Tell us your short story, heartbreaking or harmony, whether it's happened for you and you are friends now, or it has happened and you're really, really not looking at the same page at the same time. Go ahead and share. Let me know again who is watching and where you're watching from. Yeah, and together let us chat. Friday night away. I had an encounter with Peter, and Peter said I tried to stay friends with my ex, but every time she dated someone new, I felt this jealousy. I couldn't explain. Eventually, we had to cut ties. Now, that's what Peter said. Now, Peter, thank you for being real and sharing that story with me that you tried to be friends with your ex, but every time she got someone new, you got jealousy and you started feeling envy, you know, and you couldn't explain it until you had to cut ties. I think that was more real. That is more natural than anything else. Any other thing would be really a gamble, and I don't think it would work. And thank you so much for sharing your honesty, that feeling, and it's what many feel but don't want to admit. Many people feel the same way about, dealing with their exes as friends, but they don't want to admit. They camouflage it as though, yeah, 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 it's okay. We are cool. We are cool. But really, I don't think, like Shaboya and Dina have said, it's impossible. And the way TJ said,